Hi. Today we are going to replace the air conditioner blower motor on a 2008 GMC Acadia, and this may be the easiest thing you can do with this car. And this is a car that to replace the headlamp actually requires going up through the wheel wells. So they made this crazy car where replacing the blower motor is ridiculously easy and replacing a light bulb is ridiculously hard. So we're going to do the easy job today. The blower motor I bought from Amazon. You can see the numbers there. This is good for several vehicle models and vehicle years, and here's what the blower motor looks like. It is super easy. It goes right under the passenger side over here. Looking under the passenger side, and you can see this big plastic thing here, and it actually can be removed without any tools at all. It is held up by a little tab here and a little tab here, and if you can grab onto the little inner ring here and just pull it out it comes. You can see that this little piston thing just goes in there to expand the outside. So by pulling on this little piece right here, you make it so that you can pull the whole thing out. So we just do the same thing over here, and down it comes. And the only tricky part is over here on the side. You got to kind of work it out. All right, so we take this little part right here, push it toward the front of the car, and it kind of pops down. You can see that this little tab right here. That's what was holding it up. Okay, so now we'll remove this whole piece, and we'll continue. So with the Acadia, there's a little light down there, and so we'll need to remove that. And on this side of the connector, there's a little tab that you have to pull out to be able to remove it. And then we can detach the entire panel. Here is our motor, and we have to make one more disconnection. Right up here is where the motor actually gets its power from. So we push up on this little tab, that little tab right there, and should be able to pull this connector out. And now the whole motor will be able to come off, and this motor is just twisted in place. There are no screws or anything. The part that may not be obvious is right here where my finger is, there's a little tab, and you have to pull that tab downward so that you can rotate the motor. See, I'm able to do that with just one hand. And now the motor's out. I pulled the cable out from the connection up there underneath just because it's so much easier to do that than to get this little thing out here and here. But we have to actually move this cable over to this guy here. So that's going to involve taking this little guy out right here and then removing this connection. This connector pulls out just by pushing in this little tab right here. And then getting this guy off, we're not going to be able to get it out without destroying it. And it's not really needed on this one anyway. There's not a hole to put it in, so we're just going to cut this guy off. Now we need to attach this cable back to this thing, and we didn't destroy this little clip too badly, so unlike this motor where there's a hole there for this thing to clip into for the strain relief, there's not one over here. And you see this nice little thing here that you might think, well, this will go in nicely here, and it actually will fit great. The problem is, once you flip this over and try to put it up there, there are things in the way here where this thing sticking up through the hole will run into them and you won't be able to turn it and lock it in. So we can't do that, so we are just going to remove it. And I know I said no tools, but I'm not sure how to remove this without tools, so I'm going to have to use a tool to get that off. Now we put this in here, and there's still strain relief, right, because it's got this little clip in there, so it's not going to come out, but we just couldn't use this little clip anymore. We're ready to install it, and notice this little vent here where it's where the air can blow. That actually is going to end up pointing straight in the back when we're done inserting this thing. For now, we put it maybe at the 10 o'clock position, if we consider that 12. Put it up into the hole, and and you can see right here, this little tab clicks into place, and now this thing is firmly installed. So all we have to do next is connect this connector, and our motor is completely installed. Just that easy. Alright, we're ready to reattach the panel. And one quick note, if you look inside this panel, you can see kind of all these rings right here. That is where water has filled up in here. When you have a sunroof in a car, there are little tubes that will drain the water, and those can get clogged up. When they get clogged up, water doesn't go down the tubes, it ends up going somewhere in the compartment, and on the passenger side that often means down into here. So you can see the various water lines, which means that our motor was partially submerged, and that's what happens to kill a lot of these motors. So we're ready to put this back on. We're going to reconnect the light, and since the door is open, the light should just come on, and it does. If your light doesn't come on, that doesn't mean it's burned out. It may mean you've had your car door open long enough that the timer timed out. So just close your door and open it again, and then you should be able to see if your light works. Now we install this last little panel. Remember this little notch right here? This thing is a royal pain. First thing we do is shove it up in there so it's far enough back. If you don't get it far enough back in there, then nothing fits. There we go. So now it feels like it kind of fits. So now you can just kind of shove it up there. It actually goes in easier than it comes out. And these little rivets here, you push them up in there, and then you push the little piston in. Same thing, don't push this in first. Push this whole big piece in first, and then push that in. And you're done. So we've replaced the motor. Real quick note on where I got the new one. I just bought it on Amazon. Amazon provides you the ability to enter your car and the year of your car so that you know that you're getting the right part. It took 3 or 4 days to get here, cost less than 50 bucks, so way cheaper than what it would take to do it at an auto dealership or a car shop somewhere. So good luck on replacing your motor.